Hi, this is Lori Nicholson. I recently recovered from COVID-19 and I want to share with you things that have helped me through this very challenging virus, this illness. I've already made a video on what I feel helped me clinically, and I've made a video on what I feel helped me holistically. And now I'm going to share with you what I feel helped me heal from an energy healing or energetic perspective. Some people would call it spiritual or esoteric healing. It's very woo-woo. If woo-woo is not for you, then this video is not for you. If you are a light healer or a light worker, this video may very well be for you. I will reiterate that I will be sharing the video on my business YouTube page, and I will be sharing the PowerPoint slides on my business website, wellawakenedliving.com. However, this has nothing to do with my business. I am not a medical provider of any kind. This is not the kind of advice I give through my business, and I'm sharing this as a Good Samaritan only. What worked for me? Whether it will work for you or not, I don't know. You should talk to your doctor about all of these things. This is particularly spiritual and energetic work that I'll be sharing in this video. Okay, so I believe there's a reason for things in the spiritual and esoteric world. I had only had lung problems once in my life prior to this, and that was when I was a teenager. I had one bout of bronchitis. However, my mom died of advanced respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS, which a lot of people are dying from with COVID-19. My mom had blood clots in her lungs at the time. My sister, my older sister, when I was 2.5 and she was 4.5, died of blood clots in her lungs, and it's almost unheard of for a 4.5-year-old to die of blood clots in their lungs. So there are lung problems in my family. My aunt has severe asthma and breathing problems. My maternal aunt. So my lungs have always been in pretty good shape. And in fact, recently I am part of a master's swim team. I swim long distances twice a week. 2 or 3 times a week I run a 5K. I go hiking with my family. So my lungs, fortunately, were in pretty good shape. However, part of the spiritual reason that I got this illness is not only so that as a light worker, I could help work it and help try to lighten it to the greatest extent possible, but that I could also heal the maternal line of my family so that those lung problems wouldn't have to be taken into my kids' generation or their kids' generation. It could stop here. We work on many different levels at the same time. I kind of joked with my husband. I said, I can just hear you saying, don't worry about healing the world, Lori, just worry about healing yourself. But really they're interconnected, because in order to heal myself, I had to heal my family line. And my maternal family line in particular, the left side of my chest and arm and breast and underneath my armpit were what was hurting, the maternal side of the body. And so I had to heal that maternal line to be able to heal my own body. And by healing my own body, I made it easier, I trust, for others to heal as well. The interesting thing is when I started meditating with this virus and trying to heal my maternal line, I worked with generation after generation after generation of ancestors with lung problems. I didn't know this. It was a little bit of a surprise, but people would come to me from my maternal ancestors with tuberculosis and the plague, pneumonic plague, and blood clots in the lungs and asthma, and just person after person after person asking to be healed of their lung issues. And in fact, they felt forlorn and abandoned. It felt like it went back to the plague time. It felt like they never truly crossed over, that they had died and they felt forlorn, they felt abandoned, they never crossed over to the other side of the veil. Since this is a spiritual service that I often provide not only for my family, but for other people and people I don't even know, helping them cross over after death, this was something I was used to doing, and so I helped heal those ancestors, and then I helped them cross over so that they would feel part of the collective conscience again, so that they would feel like they were not forlorn and abandoned, so they could feel like they were part of the whole and part of the unity, and they can completely heal. So that's one of the things that I did with them. I did a lot of past life reviews with them. I did a lot of what have you learned, what can you take into your knowledge bank, basically. One huge caveat I have for light workers, a huge caveat: do not go directly into the energy of this virus. I know that as light workers, we often will go into the darkness and work it from the inside out. Work on transforming that darkness with our light from the inside out. It's one of the ways that light workers heal. However, this virus feels especially destructive and especially violent. That's really the only way I can put it. It's almost like a black hole of dark energy. And it is very, very, very difficult to deal with. And every light worker I know who went into the virus ended up getting very sick. So I will say, do not work it from the inside out that way. That's one of the ways we typically work. It's not the way to work with this virus. I will tell you ways that you can work with this virus. I learned from it as I was working with it. And maybe that's another spiritual reason why I had to get sick, is so that I could teach other light workers things that did work. Do not go right into the virus. All right, so the virus does have some light within it. It has a core of almost like a sliver of diamond-shaped light. And instead of going directly into the core of it, though, I worked with it by spinning the virus. In fact, I would spin it this way. So from my left out away from me, around to my right, back towards me, and I would spin it this way. And I would spin the particles of virus. I would start at the top of my head, and I would do this all the way around the back of my head, and then down like a spiral staircase all around my body, all the way down from the top of my head down to the tips of my toes. And I would spin, and I would see the outer dark crust of the virus flying away, burning away, while the little, it's like a sliver of diamond-shaped crystalline light in the middle remained. So that I would imagine having like crystal light, 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 all around, down like that spiral staircase around my body. That descending spiral staircase of spinning the virus into a diamond of light, that, and making sure that all parts of my body were left with only that bright diamond light, really helped me. I would listen to, if you have listened to my second video on what helped me heal holistically, I talked about 2.4 to 5.0 hertz range of sound healing and binaural beats. The 2.4 hertz range works best for most people. And in fact, most of what I'm telling you in this particular energy healing video came from me working with Catherine Wright Desai, www.vitability.com. It's going to be on my website on the PowerPoint slides. She helped me have a couple of healing sessions with her, and we worked together to help figure out how I could work with this virus and transform it and heal myself. So, for whatever reason, one that I can't explain, although I trust sound healing and I experienced sound healing as a result of my experience with this virus, between the low energy vibration frequencies of 2.4 to 5.0 hertz, for whatever reason, the virus doesn't like it. And most people will react to the 2.4 hertz and will feel healing at that range. I did try 2.6 hertz, 2.8 hertz, 3.0, 3.3. I really thought 3.3 was going to work great for me, but 2.4 worked the best for me. I went out onto YouTube. I found an audio clip of 2.4 hertz binaural beats, and I played it round the clock for about 4 days. Now, usually with binaural beats, you listen with headphones or both earbuds in, and it smooths out the beat sound into one calming tone that gets you into a nice, relaxed, almost hypnotic state. I specifically listened to the binaural beats without the headphones so I could hear the thrumming, drumming beat of the hertz. And it was like woo, 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 woo. And I would listen to it without headphones and just keep my phone plugged in and run it around the clock. It was a little difficult to sleep the first night. I thought, oh my goodness, this beat is going to make me crazy. It's going to make it hard for me to sleep. I found that I could turn the sound down and still get the same benefits and get better sleep that way. There was a vibrational aspect of this. I would actually not only listen to the beat around the clock, but sometimes, although I usually try to keep my cell phone away from my body, I don't like the idea of all the Wi-Fi energetics coming into my body. I don't carry my phone in my pocket or right next to me, and I try to keep it away from my ears and my head. But for whatever reason, with this virus, I found it was very, very helpful to have my cell phone right up next to my body. And I would actually feel the vibration, the woo, 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 in my phone. And I would put it on my belly that was churning. I would put it on my chest that was in pain and felt all this pressure. And I would put it on the back of my shoulder blade. And I would feel real healing release. Watch my other video about the holistic healing. I would actually feel this kind of shaking response and release. As I said, I'm not a medical provider. Talk to your doctor if you have a pacemaker or epilepsy or anything where a strong beat might impact you negatively. This is shared as a good Samaritan of what worked for me. Okay? I also used a healing bowl or a tuning fork. So a heart chakra singing bowl. And usually you use the singing bowl and you go around the outside of it and get it to hum. What I would do is I would hit the bowl and then bring that vibration, the bowl, up to the part of my body where I was feeling pain, pressure, challenges. I found that incredibly healing. And there were some places I'd bring it close to my body and feel like I couldn't get it close to my body. And I'd hit it again and bring it and hit it again and bring it and hit it again until I felt like I could get it close to my body. It was almost like there was an energetic block in that place. And the vibration of the bowl would move that blockage and remove it. Likewise, I would use a tuning fork and I'd hit the tuning fork and then I'd bring it to parts of my body that needed it. So those were very helpful to me. Any place I felt pain or soreness. Also with the binaural beats, I would sometimes palpate parts of my body. That is discussed in the holistic healing video. Sometimes when I was doing this work, I would also use the phrase from biogenesis work, which I don't do, but Catherine Wright Desai does. And one of the phrases is, perfection is the natural way. Light is triumphant. And I would basically yell that in my head over and over again when I was in this fevered, hot, challenging state, difficulty breathing. Perfection is the natural way. Light is triumphant. Perfection is the natural way. Light is triumphant. Perfection is the natural way. Light is triumphant. And I would say it over and over and over again. And that would bring me relief, and I would feel shifts and vibrations of feeling of the virus actually leaving my system. That was very helpful to me. Then I would do an 8-step process every night. That was very, very healing for me. And let me explain what that was. The 8-step process was like a meditation that I'd go through. I would do some Jin Shin work. I would do some deep breathing work. Those are covered in my other 2 videos. This process involved techniques that are different from my lineage. Each of us light workers come from different lineages, and these processes were guided to me and given to me by Catherine Wright Desai. Her lineage is different from mine, and yet I found them healing anyway. And there was literally zero downside to trying them, and a strong healing that came from using them. So they helped me immensely. All right, so the beginning of this process involves putting a pinkish orange color in the middle of a Sephiroth right in front of my chest. I had to look up what a Sephiroth looks like. It looks like this. And the slides will be on my webpage. Okay, so imagine putting a pink-orange flame in the middle of that, and then making it right above the chest and making it big, 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 and standing in a flame of that pink-orange color. This process also referenced adamantine particles, which I also had to look up. There are particles that are crystal-like particles of infinity, which contain stored potential to manifest any original substance or element. I didn't know that those were called adamantine particles, although I've used them and worked with them before in my own energy healing work. So okay, now I have a name to go with what that is. They're encoded with a kind of universal DNA that allows them to form any possible type of atom, and they're only powered by the magnetism and energy of love. So I would really get myself into a place of gratitude and really, really, really focused love before doing this meditation. The process also involves coating the alveoli in the lungs with different colors. And I had to look up, I knew that the alveoli were in the lungs, but I had to look up, what do they look like? I wanted to have a very good, strong picture. That is in the PowerPoint slides on my website. So I would imagine those alveoli and I'd coat them with a color. We'll get to that when I get to the process. And I would also coat the intercostal muscles and the intercostals and the serous tissues with a different color. The intercostals I knew were in the chest, but I wanted to be able to really visualize them. Look on my website if you want this PowerPoint. But I want to share with you so you can visualize. And the serous tissues also on my website. I mostly wanted to focus on the serous tissues in the peritoneal, pleural, and pericardial cavities. That's what my guidance was. I had to look down at my notes about this because this is not a process I usually do. The 8th stage of this 8-step process involves creating a sanctuary around your aura and around your house. I'm assuming if you're watching this video and you're this woo-woo, you know what your aura is. It's your bubble of energy around you. Your energy bodies and the different levels of your energy bodies are within your aura. Okay? So these are part of her lineage, Catherine Wright Desai's, and I used them. I found them to be quite healing for me personally. So the 8-step process that I would do every night, I will guide you through it so that if you are struggling with COVID-19, or if you are a light worker helping others struggling with COVID-19, or if you have loved ones and you just want to try it, you can do this. So first I would put on the 2.4 hertz, the beat. Okay, go and find that on YouTube. Without headphones, just let it play in the background. I would stand in the pink-orange flame of the Sephiroth in front of my chest, and then I'd broaden it and make it bigger and bigger, and imagine myself stepping into that flame and standing there and taking deep breaths with that flame around me. And I would invite in the memory, inviting in now, the divine perfect blueprint and my upgraded blueprint in the new earth. And I would ask and command, as we do now, we ask and command the adamantine particles with memory, therefore direction, remembering the divine blueprint, and therefore remembering the direction of what has to happen to take us from illness and struggle in the present, which is what I was feeling, into that divine, perfect, healed blueprint. I would then flood my whole body with a very soft, soft, soft pink light. This is part of my tradition. This is something I work with regularly with myself and my clients. It is a pink that is so soft that it's almost white with a pink tint. And it's got a pearlescent quality to it. One of the reasons I chose this layout for my PowerPoint is there is the very, very lightest little sliver of triangle. The lightest one on the page is almost exactly the right color. It doesn't have the pearlescence to it. If you add the pearlescence to it that you'd find in the inside of a beautiful seashell, then you've got that color. And I'd imagine flooding my body with it from the top of my head, coming in to all my cells, flooding my brain, going behind my eyes, inside my ear canals, down through my cheeks and jaw, all the way down through my body. And I take a long time around my chest and around the back of my upper back. And I'd make sure I'd allow it to flow like a waterfall, like really like a waterfall without end. It would just come down and continue to flood my body because the virus particles felt like little thin black tentacles that were like string-like tentacles. That's what it felt like inside my body, and I'd flood them out just with this waterfall of pink light. It's almost white light with some pink, and I like to sometimes see gold sparkles or silver sparkles within, and a crystalline flame sometimes as well. I like to work with the silver flame on the left side of my body, sacred feminine. Gold flame on the right side of my body, near my chest, sacred masculine. Crystalline flame in the center. So we've got, if you're religious, you can think of it as Father, Son, Holy Spirit, male, child, feminine. Okay? It's like a triune flame. And I sometimes see that in the white light with pink, the pearlescent quality. Take your time really filling your lungs, the front and back of your lungs, with this divine light. Then I would coat the inside of my lungs with a beautiful magenta color, a really beautiful magenta color, which is part of my logo, and it's also part of this color. This is not business work that I'm doing. I'm just showing why these colors resonate. Coat the inside of the lungs with a magenta light. Then coat the alveoli in the lungs with gold light. Okay? Just like divine wisdom. Then coat the intercostals, those muscles beneath the rib cage, and the serous tissues in the peritoneal, pericardial areas. And the pleural areas, all through the lungs and that whole area and down into the abdomen even, with silver blue light. Silverish blue light. The intercostals and the serous tissues. And then imagine a mixture of the pink, the magenta, and the gold colors mixing together and swirling. And then flowing right underneath the skin, right very close to the skin. And I would imagine it starting at my fingertips, coming up my arms, flooding my lungs and my back, going up to my head, down through my torso, abdomen, sacrum, buttocks, all the way down my legs, right underneath the skin. That was incredibly healing. Take quite a bit of time again with your throat and your lungs and your heart. Number 7 is to stand up if you're able and imagine connecting your pelvic floor and your toes with the gravitational flow of the new earth. And you don't even have to know what that means. Just intend, and your subconscious and your higher self will figure it out for you. Connecting your pelvic floor and your toes to the gravitational flow of the new earth. Entrain your cells. You can even say, I entrain my cells to the new vibration of the new earth. I entrain my cells to the vibration of the new earth. I entrain my cells to the vibration of the new earth. Step 8 is to create a sanctuary around your aura and around your house. And here are the directions for how to do that. The phrasing, it's phrasing and colors. So the first phrase is, my shield is strong and powerful. And imagine right outside of your aura, which depending, just ask where it is, feel where it is. If you're a light worker watching this, you already know where it is. And it varies based upon how you're feeling that day, but 3 to 5 to 6 feet out from you in all directions, front and back, left and right, above you, below you. Coat the outside of your aura with green and gold. And then imagine going to the highest point on your property. It might be your roof, it might be a tree. I have a hill in my backyard with trees, so I have to go up above the trees and out over my whole property and out around my whole property in each direction and underneath the ground, underneath the property. It goes underground. That's like the bubble around my property. So, my shield is strong and powerful. Coat with green and gold outside the aura. Coat with green and gold outside the property bubble. Make sure you're getting every single aspect of the whole bubble for each of those. Protecting, silver, is the color you use outside of the green and gold. It's like right on top of the green and gold, you've got the silver around your aura and then around the whole property bubble. So far we have, my shield is strong and powerful, green and gold. Protecting, silver. Filtering and gifting, and I am receiving the highest level, positive only aligned light. And the color that goes with that phrase is a pale blue with a midnight blue outer coating. And that's around the outside of the green and gold and the silver layers, around your aura, and around your whole property. And then leave a little space between that outer coating and the next thing you do. Leave a little room between the edge of your aura and the next color, which is magenta. And the magenta, the phrase is, I am clearing, because what it does is it pulls out all the impurities and anything that's lower vibrating from your aura or from the bubble around your property. Okay? So far, to reiterate, my shield is strong and powerful, green and gold. Protecting, silver on top of the green and gold. Filtering and gifting, and I am receiving the highest level, positive only aligned light, pale blue with a midnight blue outer coating. Both of these are around your own aura and your property bubble. I am clearing, you're leaving a little space between the midnight blue and the magenta pulls out. Transforming and transmuting into all I am capable of becoming. And then what you will do is you will put inside your aura and inside the bubble of your property what's called a purple mix. And the purple mix is like a violet and indigo and seventh ray, and it feels really yummy. And that really does a lot of the healing from the inside. Okay, so the magenta pulls out, the purple mix heals from the inside your aura, inside the bubble of the property. And then the final phrase is, the light of the truth that I am, 3 times. So it goes like this when you put it all together. My shield is strong and powerful, green and gold. Protecting, silver. Filtering and gifting, and I am receiving the highest level, positive only aligned light, pale blue with the midnight blue outer coating. I am clearing, magenta, transforming and transmuting into all I am capable of becoming, purple mix inside. The light of the truth that I am, the light of the truth that I am, the light of the truth that I am. And that is the end of that eight-step process that I would use nightly. I wish you health and safety and wellness. Stay safe and work with this virus in a healthy way.